What's up, YouTube? It's Anthony Castillo with you guys another talk. So this one right here, I'm gonna just say it really, really plainly because I think this is a very interesting one to take notice of. Spiritual now. Um, I know there's a book out there called The Power of Now. I think it's by Eckhart Tolle, I believe. Um, but I actually never actually read the book, so I know it's kind of hard for me to really say any kind of credibility behind it, but let's get into it, right? Let's see where this goes, because this is kind of important to take a notice of what spirituality is and how a lot of conceptual ideas out there have helped people understand how to transform their mind, their body, and their spirit to make something happen in their lives, right? And if they're not seeing the results, then it's obviously not working, right? But the reason I say spiritual now, is because I believe there are some connections to that, right? When we think of how we want something done now, let's say even at the workforce, right? You don't have your manager telling you at the perfect timing, you know, you'll get it done, or when perfect timing happens, you'll get it done, right? If you saw my other video about spiritual timing, how we can certainly negate certain things, co-creating by deflecting a certain timing, even in sports, right? You can, you think about a football player, right? All the coordinates of a player has to be able to know what the timing of another person is going to have and know how to negate the timing of another person. I did football when I was younger, so the mathematics of it was very, very, very intense, because you have to understand that the plays that you do, even in soccer, right? Soccer, all sports have this, okay, the coach is like, I have this here, this coordinate plan for you, and boom, we're gonna execute this plan. So you got to know the timing of another person before you can rely just on pure timing, right? It gets very complex, I know. But anyways, so spiritual now, what does that mean, right? I've listened to other spiritual leaders out there that talked about how spirituality could be understood through manifesting in rapid paces by changing the way you believe in something, and also the way you communicate into the universe what you're asking for. Because we can't wait for the piano of life to just drop on our lives. I've been told so many times, when you least expect it, something's gonna happen. I'm like, even that notion, that notion of that statement of belief makes me feel like I have to wait patiently for something when I least expect it, or I'm supposed to be obligated by the busyness of my mind. Because if I'm busy constantly, what if I'm on autopilot, constantly just busy, and then someone comes up, and let's say in the context of love, someone comes up and I'm just on that circuit, auto-suggestion of just busyness, right? So I know that's a lot of science behind the mind, and unfortunately sometimes people that have told me that kind of, belief system, that when you least expect it, something will happen. As a person, as a first generational person that has graduated from college within my own family, and other aspects, other certain things that my family have never taught me specifically, I had to learn how to break those generational patterns, because those generational patterns only caused more suffering, and it's also planted in my mind to believe in certain ways to act based on evidence of people's history of how they acted towards me, right? Like for me, I'm gonna be an uncle. All of my uncles in my life, I rarely even talk to. I rarely ever talk to. So, coming here in the next couple of months, I'm gonna be an uncle. So am I supposed to internalize, right? I know that's getting really deep into therapeutic communication, but am I supposed to internalize that's how I'm supposed to behave with being an uncle, because I've learned that all my uncles in my life have been distant? So I gotta be distant. I'm gonna be uncle. It's a title I have to learn how to interpret and understand what I'm gonna be. So I gotta be distant, because that's all I ever learned, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So spiritual now. How do we learn how to cultivate the now and say, you know what, I'm tired. Say what you want in life now. I mean, if anyone knows anything about Christianity, Catholicism, or even its roots of doctrine, the Bible speaks specifically about now. a lot about asking now, asking with confidence, asking with full assurance. It never really says like just wait, don't ever, you know, there are passages, but that it gets complex. I'm not here to indoctrinate, but get to the point, right? We're here to get to the point. But yeah, spiritual now. How do we apply that with everything? Especially if you're in a workplace, or if you are, especially in high impact sales, and you're selling so many things, and you're like, you demand that sale now. Like, you got to be able to communicate so much with so much reassurance and assurance that you're gonna get what you want, right? Because you want what you want. Even as a dancer, I don't sit there for a perfect timing for something to come to me. No, you have to want it now, and you demand it now. So if we tell the universe, tell God or something like that, now is the now, it's gonna respond with now. But anyways, guys, I wanted to leave you with that. I thought it was kind of interesting to kind of just push forward a little bit of more energy out there, just because we do get stuck. I have family members that still go to church, still kind of play out patterns that have only brought more suffering onto life, because their way of method has taught them that's the way to do things, right? To sit at a pulpit or something, I apologize, to sit there, be filtered by something, and still wait till the piano of life to happen, right? If I myself believe in faith, believe in God, I think that the biggest thing is action. When your words are being put out there with action, and you're saying it with such confidence and saying now, that action ripples with waves, with intensity, and claiming what you want, right? You're claiming what you want. You're not claiming and waiting for thoughts to just wait to filter through, right? But anyways, I'll leave you with that one. However you want to interpret that, spiritual now. It is important that we do declare things now, right? Because you even think about President of the United States. When we go to war or something like that, they don't wait for a perfect timing. They say, now. Now is the time to defend what you believe. Now is the time to defend what you want. Now is the time to defend what you are saying. Because waiting for something is never going to come. No matter how much we keep on just waiting, it's not going to come. Anyways, remember to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.